4 minutes early. My name is Lisa Hendrickson. I have the honor of serving as your mayor. And I also would like to introduce our District 3 Commissioner, Miss Erin Shoes. Good morning. So if you live in District 3, Erin is your commissioner. Did I miss any other commissioners in the room?
Redington Beach.
Redington Beach. I'm sorry?
Tim Thompson.
Tim Thompson from Redington Beach. Thank you so much for being here. Any other commissioners or mayors in the room? All right, very good. If you could please silence your phones so that we can have a productive meeting, that would be great. We do have a sign-in sheet. It's important for us to know who was here so that if we have any developing information in the future, we can reach out to you directly on this topic. Thank you. Our staff is working extremely hard. We asked for this open forum today so that we could be face-to-face with you and answer your questions without the formalization of a commission meeting. So there's no formal actions today, even though we have 2 commissioners here. This is not a commission meeting. We are not bound by the 3-minute rule for formality. This is an open forum with our building official. The only thing I ask is that we all please be respectful to each other and of course to our staff and our building official who is working many hours per week. This meeting is being recorded and we will post it on our website so that residents who are not able to attend this morning's meeting can review it at a later time convenient for them. Or if you missed something and you'd like to re-review it, feel free. I'd like to gauge the audience a little bit. How many residents are here from Redington Shores? Can you raise your hand? Woo, yes. How many from Redington Beach? All right, we got a good mix from both towns. Thank you all for getting up early and being here. Of those in the audience, who has received your substantial damage letter? Okay, good. And I'm going to assume the rest of you have not received your substantial damage letter. Go ahead and raise your hand. I get a feel. Okay. All right. It kind of looks like we're 50-50, Rob, on both towns and the letters, yeah? Okay. Who in this room has filed for an appeals process? Okay, good. Well, Rob is going to talk about all of these items. Certainly, just to be respectful to Rob and everyone else, if you have a question, just raise your hand and allow Rob to call on you. We have 1 hour allotted, and I want to be respectful to everyone's time today. So we are going to get started, and I'd like to introduce our intern building official, Mr. Rob Peebles.
All right. Well, I appreciate you all coming out this morning. I know you have a lot of questions. I'm going to try to address some of those right off the bat so we can get down to other business. The elephant in the room, substantial damage letters. Where are they? What's going on with them? Let me address a few topics on that. We have a list, 2 lists, one for Redington Beach, one for Redington Shores on the clipboard over here. If your address is on that list, then you have received a letter, or let me clarify, a letter has been sent to your property address. If you haven't received, if your address is on the list and you haven't received the letter, let us know. You can contact the building department, you can contact Town Hall, we can email that to you because we have that, a record of that. If your address is not on the list, you haven't received the letter, that means we haven't gotten the data from Tidal Basin. We get, in fact, on Wednesday night, while we were in the commission meeting, just after 6 o'clock, I received some data from Tidal Basin, and we were able to send out another 164 letters this week. They went out yesterday afternoon. It takes about 2 days to process and get all that organized. So to date, for both municipalities, Beach and Shores, we've sent out 885 letters out of approximately 1,400 we expect to send, so we're at about 63% in letters being sent. Okay? So if you're here, you haven't gotten a letter, and your address is on that list, that may be in your mailbox today, maybe on Monday. If you are not substantially damaged, once you receive your letter, then we can issue you your permit to rebuild. If you are substantially damaged per the letter, then we do an appeal process. You can do a market appraisal, you call Mike Twitty, you have him come do a BVR, you do a BVR request and he'll do a reappraisal of your home, increase the property value. You can have a contractor submit cost estimate. The idea is we're working with a simple ratio. What's the home worth, not the property, but the structure? What is the structure worth and what does it cost to repair? If we increase the structure value and we decrease the cost to repair, then we change the ratio, bring you under the 49 for the shores and 50% for the beach. And once we get you under that mark, then you can get a permit and rebuild your home. Let me be perfectly clear, not one person in this building expects or demands or wants you to have to tear down your house and rebuild it. That's not what's going on here. We want to get you back in your home as quickly as possible, but it does have to be a safe home to move back into. So we have to follow this process. It's outlined and codified, and we're going to follow the process to a T. I cannot issue a permit until I issue a letter, and I cannot issue a letter until I get the data from title. So what I need you to hear is, as soon as they send us data, we immediately go to work. I spent all day Thursday locked away in my office. Some of you tried to call, some of you may have wanted to come by and visit. I locked myself away, told the staff, leave me alone, let me work on these letters, because the most important thing to do that day was get those letters out. And I was able to get all processed, took about 6 hours, got it all processed, got it to the town clerk, does her thing, and then we were able to get those out yesterday. So feel good about that, another 164 going out. We're here working our tails off to serve your needs, and to me that was the most important thing. Now we're coming back on the letters that we sent, and we're reviewing those permit applications that you put in. If you're not substantially damaged, we are working to issue those permits. They'll start coming out Monday, Tuesday. You should get notification by email. You or your contractor will get notification by email that it actually has the permit placard as an attachment to the email. So that happens automatically when we do that. Any questions about letters? Yes, ma'am.
What's the difference between the exercise you're working on now versus the FEMA letter that's on the property tax records already?
Good question. So I don't know if everybody heard that. She asked, what's the difference between the substantial damage letter and the FEMA letter? The FEMA letter is an estimate from Mike Twitty's office. It's really the property value typically doesn't change much. It's the cost estimate that the Title Basin provides that makes the difference there. I saw a hand up. Yes, sir.
Yes. In my case, my cost of repairs for both for everything's too low. I was under $400 to fix everything, and I fixed it myself. So based on our discussions on January 24th, I went ahead and sent you a list of materials that I used to fix the house. I've heard back from you since. Went ahead and followed the process that's on the portal, and tried to contact the building department on the 25th. It's been over 2 weeks, no response back from you or me.
Okay,
So
understand. So let me just address one thing real quick, and I appreciate that, and we can deal with that specific issue later. In this format, with this number of people and with our time limit, it is going to be absolutely impossible to deal with each person's specific circumstance. Everybody is generally the same, but you all have little bitty tweaks that are a little bit different. So it's not going to be possible to sit here and I don't have my computer, I don't have access to research stuff. We're doing our best, working as hard as we can to resolve those issues. That specific issue is really a non-issue. We just need to get you cleared up, and I understand.
Just an email for piece of
but yeah, no, and I understand that. But this won't be the form for that. Yes, ma'am.
Well, like she was saying, FEMA gave us a different percentage. This Tidal Basin has given us a different percentage.
Right.
Even my insurance company had to give a percentage when they submitted in to be reimbursed. And none of them match.
Right. The only one that I'm concerned about is what's on the substantial damage letter. That's the only one that makes a difference between whether you're substantially damaged or not.
So you're saying then all I need is an updated appraisal on my home and just to submit that? That's all I need?
So we've, maybe, most likely. So what I've discovered, and I've done a few appeals, and some of you raised your hands that you've done an appeal. What I've discovered is 9 times out of 10, when you submit a reappraisal of your home, the value of the structure almost doubles. It's a range of 40 to 60% increase in the structure value. And when that happens, it effectively cuts that cost of repair part in half, right? And increases that ratio so we get you non-substantially damaged. And it's typically that appraisal that makes the biggest difference.
So that's all we need?
Well, so you can email the building department, you can bring it to our window, just get us the property appraisal, and we now have a request form for appeal.
And then you reissue another letter?
But we can do that for you right at the window, or we can email that to you.
And you reissue another letter?
Lots of hands. Sir, you had your hand up for a little bit.
So that, the reappraisal process that where you mentioned it likely doubles, is that coming out of Twitty's office or is that coming out of a private adjuster?
Private.
I have not seen anything from Twitty's office on a reappraisal yet.
Okay.
I
The
have.
ones I'm looking at are private appraisals.
They
Yes, ma'am.
said
So
to
just
do
to
it.
follow up, so you can't tell us how long that process takes if we submit to Twitty's office? You're not
I
saying
do have no
anything?
idea.
Okay.
This gentleman said possibly 2 to 3 weeks.
That's
to
what
get
the
a
website
reappraisal.
says.
Do you want me to give you some clarification on the process?
If that's the case,
Yes.
I'm willing to
I was
bet
there
that's
yesterday.
faster than private appraisal, because I know those folks are super busy. Yes, ma'am.
So yesterday I got my letter as I was sitting in the appraiser's office, and I was at 50.6. So when I asked them, so I need some clarification on where I go. They told me that the lady there, who was very helpful, said, send her an email containing my letter, my substantial damage letter, pictures of my home before the storm, which I purchased in May. Okay? She said send that, and I sent her my MLS, which had all the pictures, to see what the upgrades were. But my question is, am I gonna get a new letter saying that I wasn't substantially damaged?
Typically, I
Do you
don't send
need
you a new
that?
letter. Typically, I don't.
So then what do I do?
What do you mean?
So when I send her all this information, and they said it takes 2 to 3 weeks, because I talked to the guy, she transferred me over to the guy in Mike Twitty's office, and I said, what do I do? What's the process now? Because I'm at 50.6 and I'm in Redington Beach. You know, I'm like $2,000.
Okay.
So I'm like, what do I do? And he said that you submit all this information, then I will get back to you in 2 to 3 weeks. Am I getting a letter? And do I have to bring that to
okay.
you?
So you're asking questions about what Twitty's doing, and I have no idea. You bring the appraisal to me. Bring the reappraisal to me when you get it.
From him? From them?
Sure.
Oh, so they'll send me a new appraisal.
I don't know what they're going to do. I can't answer for Twitty.
So you need, what do I need to bring to you?
Either a reappraisal from a private appraiser or from Mike Twitty's office,
Okay.
or a cost estimate that reduces the cost to repair.
Hey, Twitty's gonna give you an updated.
In the back.
So,
Yeah.
okay, so Twitty's
Or
gonna
you
give
can
me
hire
another
a
one. Well, I'm
Guys,
gonna
let's keep
hire
the chatter
somebody.
down.
$600.
I know
Yeah,
you wanna
for
discuss,
him, for
but
free.
so we can hear the people asking questions, let's keep the chatter down, please.
Don't have the substantial letter or damage letter yet, but you got a contractor that comes in and he's coming in under what Twitty's letter says with the FEMA 50%.
Doesn't matter. With respect, it doesn't matter. Until you have the letter, you're not gonna get a permit.
But our
If-
permit, according to the sample letter that you guys provided on your website, says that the permits have to be submitted by April 6th. Are we gonna get an extension because it's taken 4 months to get a substantial?
I'll review that. I'll review that, but I don't believe we're gonna come anywhere close to that deadline. I don't believe that's gonna be an issue, but I'll review that. One sec, we've got a lot of folks behind you. Go ahead, sir. You should submit, you should
What's his
definitely submit
question?
that.
I can't hear.
What's his question?
He said he came to the window with a private appraisal, and they told him to submit the private appraisal with the application for the rebuild permit.
But I haven't gotten the substantial damage letter yet.
Sure.
And FEMA also says that they couldn't identify me, so I have to go through the process of being identified. Right.
Okay.
So what do I do?
Have you received your letter yet? Okay, then none of it matters until you receive your letter. So let's get your letter, because if you're not substantially damaged, I don't need your appraisal. I don't need your appraisal. We just need to get you a permit to build.
Okay, so how will I know what way they will determine if I'm gonna get a letter or not?
Everybody's gonna get a letter. Everybody's gonna get a letter. In the gray with pink there. Yes, ma'am.
Two questions. One is that the cost is based on the structure damage or based
Structure.
on... So the point is that the cost before hurricane is kind of half to one-third of the cost after hurricane? One question.
The cost to repair and bring it back to pre-hurricane status, I think answered your first question.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Can you tell me again who you're with?
I'm the building official for the town of George
Okay,
Redington.
second question. Once we get that letter and we have an electrical permit and we have a demo permit, how long will it take for us to get the renovation permit?
You have to complete the interior demolition part of the deal. So you gotta get your rough electric, safe, secure, sanitary, right? You've heard that term. You know, drywall out, studs dry. You have to be in a place where you're ready to cover things up and move on. Once you have your non-substantial damage letter and your interior demolition permit is cleared out, then we can issue your renovation permit.
How long will that take from you guys?
A couple days. We just have to review.
Couple days?
Yeah, it just depends. It all depends on volume. All depends on volume. Yes, sir.
Hey, talking about the rough end of the electric, it sounds like you're making that sound like that's part of the demo permit.
Mm-hmm.
That's not part of the rebuild permit. I would think that we're trying to get everything that gets safe, secure, and sanitized.
Right.
That, you know, we got our electric secured, okay, but it's nowhere near saying, oh, we did the rough end ready for the rebuild now.
You
We didn't
can't,
do a
but you
complete,
can't.
we didn't do a complete rough end on our electric.
So to
We just
clarify,
made it
safe, secure, sanitary, what I've instructed folks who've called me or sat down and talked to me is we want you to bring your home to a minimal, what we call a minimal habitable standard. You can do all of the electrical, including installing outlets and putting covers on them. You can't hang drywall, but we want you to put a cover on that. You can use that outlet, but I don't want you to accidentally touch something that's going to shock you. You can complete all of that stuff. That way you can plug in a stove and you can cook in your own home. There's no drywall and you don't have countertops to work with, but you can cook on the stove. You can have a toilet, a tub, a sink, so you can wash your hands and wash dishes and take a shower, brush your teeth. Make sure your AC is working. So you got plumbing, you got AC, you got your electrical, everything is safe. You can live in your home. There are no walls. There are no walls. I get it. You're laying in your bed and you're waving at somebody across the building. I understand. It's not living in your home. It's camping in your own home.
Yes.
But you can, with the demolition permit, you can bring your home to a minimal habitable standard. You can do your roof. You can do windows and doors, exterior doors, not interior doors. Everything but all of those parts that really complete the home, right? All of that can be done on your interior demolition permit. So you just add, if you need to do your roof, add your roofer to your interior demolition permit. If you need to do electrical, your electrician may want to pull their own permit, and that's fine, but you can add them to your interior demolition permit. Same with your plumber, same with your HVAC. Put it all on there, windows and doors. Put it all on that permit so that somebody can't break into your home, so you can actually live in your home. You can sit down, you're watching Oprah, you're eating microwave popcorn, but you can see the entirety of your home from your living room. Yes, sir.
Question, who can advise me on being raised in the house, or not being in the house, or shouldn't the house taxes?
Ooh, that's way
Please repeat the question, Rob.
Speak up.
He asked about the tax implications of raising or demolishing and rebuilding a home. Totally not.
Well, because I went,
My mom named me Robert.
Right.
Because Robert's a doctor, a lawyer, an accountant, but everybody calls me Rob.
and I guess the thing is that when I went over there, they pointed me over here, and then here, they was like over there for food.
You're gonna have to talk to an accountant about that. Tax
No,
accountant.
the county assesses taxes when you.
Sir, I don't have anything to do with it. I can't help you with that question. I'm so sorry. It's just out of my wheelhouse. Yes, ma'am.
Another question on this demo permit.
Which, can you direct me the right direction?
No, I don't.
It's the property
It's
appraiser.
not, just not my,
It's
not my
Mike
wheelhouse.
Twitty's office,
I'm a
sir.
builder. I'm a builder. Yes, ma'am.
So the demo permit, say we just pulled that for the pulling out all the debris out of the house. Can we add to it to add then all this stuff you're saying,
That's
roof,
what I
windows,
just said.
doors?
Yes, ma'am. That's what I just said.
We
Bring
can
it up
add
to a
to it
minimum
now.
habitable standard. Yes, ma'am.
If it's already submitted?
That's right.
Okay.
That's right. Yes, ma'am.
Who is Title Basin accountable to? I mean, who hired them?
The governor?
The governor was. They were hired by FDM in Pinellas County to do this for us. Yes, sir.
It's on the website.
So, previously, when we came in, we got our demo permit, like you're saying, make the house safe and so forth. We were dealing with another building inspector.
Bill?
Yeah, now, are you gonna rotate out?
Eventually.
What is your last day here?
So I work.
Because what you're saying to all of us here, and then all of a sudden we see, you know, Jimmy shows up next month.
Right.
I work
Is it
for
gonna-
Safe Built.
Okay.
Okay, Safe Built is a third-party contractor that does
Yeah,
the building
I
department,
understand.
or does the building official position. We do all the inspections as well. Safe Built is working. I live in Orlando.
Okay.
I'm supposed to be there last night. My wife's
Supposed to be in my house 90 days ago, so I don't really care.
Months ago.
Safe Built is working on a local permanent
Perfect.
replacement for me. Some folks are gonna be really happy about that.
Good.
And so the person that they bring in, God willing, will be the last one.
Okay, but my question
Yeah.
is your predecessor was just as clear, he clarified what you're saying about how making the house safe, getting your electric, that's common sense. Okay, and we all know that, and my contractor has started to do work based on those,
Right.
on that permit. The reality is that you have, I don't know, 75 people in this room, because if the next person that comes in and says something different, I will start the class action lawsuit. I'm just saying, but
You're welcome to do that.
because the reality is, I just want to make sure we're all good, because a lot of our job, you know, a lot of us are prepared to do
Bill's
this.
my supervisor.
He's really
And-
was super nice, and you
I've
are
known Bill
too.
for years. Bill's a wonderful man. I came in and worked with Bill for about a
Okay.
week before he pulled out. And he and I went over all of this stuff. What you hear from me should be very similar to what you heard from Bill.
I think it's exact.
Hopefully
Thank you.
there's
Clarifying.
No variation from that. And the gentleman that they bring in, or the person I should say that they bring in to replace me,
But we don't need
I'll sit
rotation.
with them. I still call Bill, hey, you know, what about this? And when oddities come up, and he and I discuss them so that there's consistency in the messaging, and we'll try to continue that. I can't speak for the future. If I could, I'd be a millionaire. I'd be a billionaire. But we'll do our best to
Well, I
train
bought my house in May.
replacement
I would have
to
bought
be
it in October.
hopefully the same.
Yes, if I could see the future. Thank you.
What if I don't, I want to sell my house and not repair? What are my choices, and so I have to apply for a permit? I don't want to repair, I don't want to live in the house, what do I do?
So you're going to sell it as is, and the seller just needs to be, I mean, the buyer just needs to be aware that they're going to have to pull permits to do the work and
Yes,
get
and
the
they are
home.
going to knock down the house and build a brand new.
Whatever they want to do. I mean, you know, that's
Do I,
fine.
do I have to apply for a permit now, before April 9th?
No.
If you sell the home and no work has been done without a permit, then eventually it falls under code compliance for neglect and disrepair. But if you sell it to someone and they immediately go into the process of getting that corrected, then there won't be a problem at all.
What is the duration for that neglect? I mean, can I
Well,
wait until?
every home is going to age and deteriorate differently, so it depends on the amount of damage you took, the amount of water, how quickly, you know, molds and things grow in the home and make it uninhabitable and unsafe for the community.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Letter or no letter, we had already decided that we wanted to raise our house.
Okay.
We got our letter and we were over their amount. So you have all our paperwork, we've already done the safety work, we are glamping in our home. And when I come every week, I wait in line, I call every week, I have emailed multiple times. 2 days ago, I did get a call back, and the woman told me that our permit will be delayed to put up sheetrock and cabinets until the house is raised. Your thought was that things are going to shift.
That's a specific question for your house, and we do not have time to deal with each person's individual specific circumstance. I know about your circumstance, and we can talk after the meeting. Yes, sir.
Your replacement, you said they're going to be a local person?
Yes.
Are they still going to be through Safe Built?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So, is it feasible to do the safety build back if we have not got got our letter, we're 100% substantially damaged. We've sent in our appeal. We don't want to spend the money on anything until you guys come out and check it again to tell us yea or nay what we should do with our house. Our contractor
You won't be able to do any renovation until you have a permit, and I won't issue the permit until your appeal has been completed, which means we will have already done all that.
No, I get that, but is it feasible to do the safety build that?
That's up to you. That's up to you. I can't advise you. Again, we're talking specific about your home, and I can't advise that. I haven't seen it. I don't have data to look at. I really can't. If you do that and your appeal does not go through, so I don't know if everybody heard her question, but she's concerned about spending money to bring the home to a safe, secure, sanitary standard, and her home is substantially damaged. She's worried about the appeal process. And the question is, does it make sense to spend the money? That's a judgment call on you. If we're able to successfully appeal, then you're building back. If we're not able to successfully appeal, you may have to demolish or elevate. But I can't make the decision for you on what you do there. I'm just, it's a tough call. I get it.
So if we decide to demolish, but not raise up, can we just keep the land as
Yes.
is and then sell it?
The question is, can we demolish the home and sell the land bare? Absolutely, you can do that. You can absolutely. I mean, you'll end up paying the demolished costs. It may be to your benefit to sell as is. You may get some structure value. I can't really. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, if you receive a substantial damage letter, how long do you have to reply, and can you submit a cost appraisal? And does the cost appraisal have to be submitted with a detailed report of the work?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So, how long do you have to reply if you receive?
FEMA says, I'm going to misquote the terminology. It's a reasonable time frame. Is what they say. You have to do it within a reasonable time frame.
What is it exactly that you don't want to
It's reasonable. It's reasonable.
And it's title basis time frame?
What is title basis time frame?
I haven't got my letter, so you tell me.
It's reasonable. Okay. I'm sorry. Yes, ma'am. Can you step out of there? I'm so sorry.
These are such important letters. Is anyone from the city seeing how they're moved to this percentage? Is there any way we get to check them out? Where are
The material, I look for 4 data points on that letter. Number 1, is it substantially damaged or not? Number 2, what is the cost to repair estimate that they provide? Number 3, what's the assessed value and what's the percentage? And that's what forms the letter. I'm happy to send that data out if you want.
legally, if we were submitting a permit with that kind of nebulous, it wouldn't apply. So
Right.
why are we all supposed to rely on that?
That's the established procedure. That's the FEMA guidelines. That's what we have to follow.
It's sort of like someone going, you should live there when the flood again. Well, that's
Right.
my choice.
I agree.
Tell us again while we got
Yes, ma'am.
Can we make it safe, secure, and all that without a letter?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, interior demolition permit, right now, get it done. Get the drywall out, get it cleaned out, get the electrical safety, get the electrical system safe. Do your AC if you need to do your AC stuff, plumbing, whatever.
So the
Yeah,
only
just
thing is the drywall, you can't close it
can't
out
hang drywall, can't put up cabinets, can't finish off your plumbing
until you get,
the letter.
you can finish off a letter.
Yeah, we,
And can plumbing?
again, yes,
Okay,
yes.
without the letter.
Without the letter, yes. You can have a toilet, a shower, and a sink. Okay? Yes, sir. The question is, what is the process for getting the interior demolition permit? You can apply for that online. through our portal, and you can apply for it here. There's some documents that need to be notarized, and we have a couple of notaries in here, so we do that for you for free. But honestly, I don't deal with permitting part of it, so I really don't know all the stuff they're asking for. I hate that I don't have.
Done in one day?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And then it goes through a brief review process, but we turn that out pretty quick. Yes, sir.
What do we need? Do we need a licensed contractor? Can we pull a
You can pull you can pull the question is, what do we need? You can pull an owner, builder, permit. You just have to sign an affidavit that says you understand that work done on your home under that permit means that you cannot rent or sell your home within a year. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I think you just said that you could do a demolition permit online. Have you tried that? I think what you mean to say is you can submit a completed application online.
Correct.
It's not a writable form. You can't click on something
Okay.
online. Is that correct?
I don't know, to be honest with you.
You're right.
I don't have that. 1 second. Yes, ma'am.
If perhaps it would be easier in review step by step, once someone receives a substantial damage letter, what is the appeal process? Because we've done the appeal process, we're waiting for your answer. But now I understand coming to this meeting, there's another form that was created that also has to be.
I'm not going to go back and ask people who've already submitted their stuff to do that form. That was just dropped
That
on me
should
this last
be
week.
clear at the window, because, we're all neighbors, we're talking. I'm telling my neighbor how we're progressing, and then this is thrown into the loop, and I'm like.
It won't affect, yeah.
What are the steps? I think everyone would.
So you receive a letter. She asks what are the steps to do your appeal. You get your you get a letter that says you're substantially damaged. You send to us or get in our hands. We do have a form for you to fill out. It also contains a waiver. But you get that information to us, and we put you in the queue. I send out our inspectors to do a reassessment of your home. They're going to come in and take pictures inside and out, make sure there's nothing that somebody missed, some structural damage that might be there, something hidden. They double check that. They bring those pictures back to me. We start an appeal process. The big form I have to fill out. We ultimately produce a report. I'm so sorry, I skipped a step. Fill out the form and do the request. We will need either a contractor's cost estimate that lowers the tidal basin cost estimate, or a market appraisal. You can get that for free from Twitty. You can hire your own appraiser. You get that appraisal or cost estimate or both to us, and we begin your appeal. Yes.
But your inspector, once the electric was done, told us we are not allowed to put outlets in until the drywall is up and.
Yeah,
it's
that's incorrect.
inspected
You can put
again.
outlets in and just put covers over those. Yes, sir.
Just one more question. Thank you for doing all this. I know you're getting beat up, but the fact
this is fun.
Okay. Can you do me one favor, and the leadership in the room? Can we prepare for the next one? So this never
I'm not
happened.
doing another Saturday meeting.
No.
That's what you're
I'm
asking.
saying, unfortunately,
my wife will move out.
This will. I hope not, and I pray this never happens again. But can we learn from this experience?
Oh, yeah.
Everybody. Well, like I said, usually in business I used to be, we used to do what's called an after action.
Yeah.
And we used to pretty much say the do's, the don'ts, the good, the bad, the ugly, because this is ugly. And I think a lot of this, what you're saying, because the confusion and the folks up front, they don't even understand some of the issues, because it's so off the rails. Because you're saying don't do this, don't do that, but is the next city over doing that? I know it's different rules, different organizations. I get it, but as confusing as this may be, it's chaos. And like the old saying goes, measure twice, cut once.
Right.
We're measuring, we're cutting like 15 times.
And the board's still too short. So sorry. Yes, sir.
I have two questions.
One, what is the acceptable moisture percentage in wood?
Under 20%.
Under 20, okay.
Except for pressure treated, which will never make that.
Okay, and then the second question would be, mine's not substantially damaged, but my air conditioner, it still works, but I want to change it out. I got something from the company you work for, Fort Lauderdale, David Dixon, said I have to go up 14 feet.
That's right.
With my air conditioner.
That's right.
My air conditioner has to go up 14 feet.
Yes,
My
sir.
house doesn't.
Yes, you're 14 feet above sea level, not above the, 14 feet above sea level, not above the.
Right, but my house is only 10 feet tall, let's say. 10,
It's an
12,
issue.
So I gotta put an air conditioner way up there.
Yeah, I mean, there are options. Put it on a pedestal, put it on the roof, put it in the back of the house, but you gotta get it elevated because you gotta get it out of flood elevation.
So
Yes, sir.
that's
Base
just
flood
not
elevation.
replacing it.
Yes, ma'am, in the back.
The walls, can we talk about the walls again? You know how you're saying you can see through the house? Is there a way we can put one side up and then you can still see?
We're not allowing any construction, no rebuild construction without a renovation permit.
Not even just for one side?
Yes, sir.
That's retarded.
This gentleman in the back, yes, sir.
The question is, you mentioned that for us to bring in a cost estimate.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you think that would be okay?
Basic number. In our letter, we just got a percentage, not a number.
Right.
Do we go to the county website and take their percent and apply that amount? to get-
It won't be as accurate as the tidal basin. I don't know.
So where do we get the number?
You can request the data from me.
Okay, so you'll
Yeah.
tell us what that number is?
I don't do it automatically, but if you put in a request, then I'll pull that data out of the
The
file.
appeals process, we're all gonna be in the same boat. We're all gonna be asking, what is that dollar figure we have?
You may be, that's true. Yes, sir.
Is there a different process for the commercial? I've got the commercial building down on
Yes.
63rd, and I'm getting nowhere.
Yeah, and tidal basin hasn't figured out how to calculate substantial damage for commercial.
Okay, and then
Yes,
the
sir.
condo building behind is running as well, and they're calling that commercial, so I haven't received anything on that either. I've got an empty building with no power.
Okay, that, you're talking about a specific circumstance, and I don't have the ability to look into that right now, so you'll
Well,
have to
it's the
come in
same
and
question
tell
as
me.
the commercial side. When can I expect something on that?
I have no idea, sir. I don't know. Again, you're talking specifics, and I just simply cannot deal with specifics on anything. Yes, ma'am.
I got my letter, substantial damage letter, and it was real close at 50.7. So I jumped the gun on the appeals because I didn't want to spend a whole lot of time doing that and have an appraisal done.
Good. Okay.
So when that gets submitted, if it comes out all right and I'm able to rebuild on the ground floor, do I still have to do all of that whole package, or do I just get my contractor to submit a permit and get work started?
Have your contractor can do it. What whole package are you talking about?
That whole permitting package that you have on the website.
Well, either you or your contractor, but it's the same for both.
Okay, and the other
Everybody
thing
does the same thing.
is, fortunately for me, as soon as I got on the island, I got a crew to come in and start pulling out the cabinets and did all of that before the stop work order went in. So I need to go now and get after permit for all of
After the
that
fact
demo
permit
that I
for the stuff
did.
that you did, yes,
So
ma'am.
can I do that on Monday, just go
Sure.
next door and get it?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes, sir, in the vest.
Yeah, so I have a substantial damage level for 60%. That works out at about $190,000 I'm allowed to spend to repair my house.
Okay.
The tidal basin come in with an estimate for $240,000 to do the repairs, no surprise, right? So if I get a contractor, which I have, that comes in at substantially less than that, less than the 50%, around $100,000, will you accept, and can I get a permit based on the contractor's
Again,
quotation?
again, either a property appraisal that raises the value or a contractor's estimate that lowers the cost to bring you below in the Redington Shores, 49%, Redington Beach, 50%.
Either one, but not necessarily both.
Not
whichever one works.
Either or both. I'll take, yes, sir.
Thank you.
Do the inspectors train employees?
Yes, they are. Yes, yes, sir.
Can you clarify how you're determining the value of the structure, where that number's coming from?
I'm not determining that at all.
Okay.
That's your property appraiser. Mike
No, but
Twitty.
what are you using to calculate whether the percentage, the
I'm
cost?
not doing a calculation on that. That is title basis.
Okay, so when you get your 3 or 4 data points from Tidal Basin to do your letter, what are those points again?
A assessed property value, estimated damage, whether or not it's substantially damaged, and the percentage. Those are the four.
Okay, so that's the property value or the structure value?
Structure value, thank you for
Okay,
that.
so you're getting that number from
Misstatement.
Title Basin?
Yes, and I believe Title Basin is getting that from Mike Twitty.
Okay, that's what I want.
Yes, ma'am.
You mentioned that if we get that interior demolition permit pulled, that something about you couldn't rent for a year or something?
If you pull an owner-builder permit, that's right, for Florida Building Code, you cannot rent or sell your home for a year.
So if I have a contractor do it, I avoid that
Correct.
issue? That's
Correct.
completely correct.
Correct. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
I haven't received my substantial damage letter yet, but everybody beside me has in my neighborhood. Do you, as the building department, know for a fact that Tidal Basin has everybody's address and
Yes.
data in it?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
As far as the percentage, we've heard some people with some numbers really close to 49%. 50.6, what if it comes in and it's 48%? That's just boom, okay, you're
Then you're not substantially damaged.
Then you're under.
Okay, so if we go through they come back and say you're substantially damaged, we go through the process, we adjust those numbers with the appraisal, with the cost estimate to rebuild, whatever, and say the cost estimate to rebuild is 48%.
Then you're not substantially damaged,
And so no one's gonna question
What am I
that, and
missing?
they assume you're coming in under 48%, and what if something?
48.9% in the shores means you're not substantially damaged and you get a permit to rebuild. What am I?
Okay, all right, because I didn't know if they were saying, hey, yeah, your estimate's 48%, but you're so close that you could have a cost overrun.
Sir,
And if you
I'm
have a
not-
cost overrun, what happens? at
Well,
that point?
a 10% contingency on the cost is added just in case to prevent, to
Are
help
you
us
saying
with that
that
overrun.
10% overrun's already added in when they figure that
Either
number?
your contractor does it or we do it ourselves, but a 10% contingency is added. Just, I mean, like I said, both commission meetings on Wednesday. If you watch one episode of Property Brothers, you know they open up a wall, they find something, right? Some reason they hit you with an extra charge. So we do have to add a 10% contingency.
All right, so
Yeah.
either I have to let you know my contractor has put in the 10% contingency, or, so you don't
I'll
add
see
another
it when I review
10%
their
on top
numbers.
of it?
Yeah, I'll see it when I review their numbers.
Okay, and my.
Yes, ma'am.
Just one quick question. The ground floor businesses that have reopened, how are they able to acquire their permits so quickly? And if they
To my
haven't,
knowledge, we haven't issued any permits.
to the
for-
ground floor businesses that have
Correct.
reopened?
I'm
So are
working
you
with a
going
few
to-
businesses that are, trying to get built back and coming up with some unique ways to do some of that stuff, but to my knowledge, we haven't issued any permits. Yes, sir.
Who does,
Safe Built. Yeah, I have a whole team. Yeah, I have a whole team. In fact, they're doing all of our plan reviews now. They have a pretty big team, but I mean, it's gonna take. No. Yes, ma'am.
The rule about not being able to, the owner builder permit, does that apply to any demo work or just the rebuild part? Like if you do some demo yourself?
It's just gonna be the rebuild part. It's just gonna be the rebuild.
So if you
Yeah.
had.
If you demo your home, you had to demo your home to make it safe, so you didn't burn down your neighbor's home.
So you're not restricted to not selling
No.
or renting for, you
No.
can do that, okay?
No, yes, ma'am. Good, that's a good question. Yes, ma'am.
Tony, if you're having to go through the appeal process because you've got a substantially damaged letter, so if you submit, a new appraisal and the list of costs of what it will be, since that's a little bit different, like what kind of time frame to get a response back?
It greatly depends. I have completed about 5 or 6. I didn't get to do any this week because I'm inundated with other things. Next week we're going to get back at it and see if we can get at it. I want to get folks' appeals done. We've issued, I think 5. First, let me say that every appeal I've done so far has been approved. Not seen one that what I've had one that was 100% substantially damaged. We've done that appeal and issued that permit. I feel like we spent a lot of time on substantial damage appeals and that kind of thing. Let's move off of that subject because at this point I'm just repeating the same answers. Do we have questions not related to substantial damage? Yes, ma'am.
According to the list, I should have received my letter. I haven't.
Okay, said that in the beginning when we first started. If your name is on the list and you haven't gotten the letter yet, it is either in the mail because we sent some out yesterday. You can contact Town Hall or email Building Department and we will email your letter to you. Yes, sir.
So one question, I want to tear down, I want to rebuild, I want to feel bigger than what was there. But I don't want to spend money for plans, engineering.
You don't have a choice.
I have to, so like spend all that money and then you say, oh no, you can't build that big?
I mean, that's a planning and zoning issue.
So who oversees that?
Yeah, we have a planning and zoning guy that reviews all plans. He's not here. He does all that remote for us.
Okay.
If you demolish and take it to bare earth, you now fall under new construction. And your permitting is just like new construction. You go through all of the protocols for new construction, which is planning and zoning, floodplain. If you're doing some seawater dock, you gotta go through NAV. I mean, there's a whole bunch. Yes, ma'am.
That's not what they said in the last meeting that we had up here in this town with the FEMA representatives. They said if you tear down and rebuild, you can only go 10% larger than the original structure. That's exactly what they said in that meeting.
Okay.
That's for the grant. If you take the grant money from FEMA.
That's for grant money or for the
10%.
property appraisal.
They support yourself with no FEMA grant money. You can do whatever you're going to go about.
I didn't know.
If we put it back to exactly the way it was, is that a level one?
Up to 65
Condos are a mess right now. Again, renovations having trouble because each condo has to be individually valued. And we have to look at the cost to repair each individual condo unit.
Oh, I know. I think your insurance would go up if you raise your structure.
That's another question. You're putting, and again, what you're talking about is existing building code, which says that the level of damage is based on the percent building area affected. If you go beyond 50%, then you're a level 3. So I mean, you're asking a specific question that I can't really answer.
You want to scoot by? Excuse me, sorry.
I understand, but the number of stories is immaterial based on the individual unit.
Class action suit definitely sounds like the way to go.
Again, we're now talking about specifics, and I don't have the ability to research that. Yes.
Demo part of when you're in the substantially damaged letter.
Yes, your demo costs are part of the total cost.
Okay.
Yes. Yes, ma'am. Hopefully another 15 minutes.
It's a fire from a solar battery, green battery.
Saco is in process. They haven't offered out. That hasn't been approved, obviously, you know how it works, but it's in notice. Takes 2 weeks to free them up from where they are. Takes a week to get them to the drug test. And,
So people who didn't have flood insurance, are they under the same requirements of building?
That's a great question. That's a great question.
Because I mean, I
Here's
don't want.
here's the answer to that question.
I'm jealous of the people who are building.
Just because you don't have flood insurance and you don't want to get flood insurance doesn't mean you're not subject to all of these rules and regulations. Your home, your structure is part of the NFIP, whether you accept flood insurance or not. If you don't follow, get your permits, do things by the book, then I'll have no choice. Eventually, ultimately, I'm going to file a 1316 letter on your home with the NFIP, which excludes your dwelling from the National Flood Insurance Program, which means you'll never be able to get subsidized for insurance, and anyone who buys your home won't be able to get subsidized for flood insurance, so you're going to be restricted on who you can sell your home to. So yes, you got to follow.
Same process, you have to post permits in your
You got to do it all.
Nothing.
You got to do it all. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
As I understand it, this has to do with the FEMA discount to the cities?
Yes.
So I'm curious, out of a show of hands, how many people in this room have actually received money from FEMA?
That's a good question. Who's received FEMA money?
Disaster assistance money?
Or individual assistance.
I've received zero, and all I want them to do is get out of the way.
Yeah. And I can't help you with that. That's certainly not my purview.
But it's all over a
it's
discount,
fair.
yet
Yeah,
the
it is.
majority of people are not receiving any money from FEMA.
I don't control that. I don't control that, sir. Yes, sir.
Can you just speak to the process of, you have the home and you say, well, I want to do a little additional work. So I'm bringing the home back up to its original. Plus I want to do a little extra work while it's all tore up. What is the best process for that?
Send us drawings of what you're trying to do when you apply for permit.
So the substantially damaged, how that relates to that when we're figuring
It's all
all of this.
included.
What's that?
It's all included. Right, it's part of your substantial.
So
improvement.
if you're thinking, okay, pie in the sky, this is what I want to do, give you the full thing. I'm going to put my house back here, and the other part I'm going to add on to. This is my total number. I'm under the substantially damaged number, therefore
So
I
send
should
it all
just
in
submit
once.
it all at one time.
Absolutely.
And if it's denied, then I can drop back
That's
to
right.
not doing that
That's
additional
right.
work.
Yes, sir. You are part of the NFIP, whether you're getting flood insurance or not.
So we have this discount that we get. Is there something additional that the city gets that we all work care of? At the end of the day, it's not what they have discount to put up with your
That's your decision to make. You can make that, you make that decision. If you make that decision on 13, 16 years old, you have a permit to do that. Anyone? Yes, sir.
We received a substantial damage letter with no percentage. Is that acceptable or?
Maybe. Again, specific situation, I don't have the ability to research. But if it came back and it said 0%, awesome. Congratulations. Yes, sir.
Not substantially damaged and permit in process under review now that we're past the holidays and stuff. What's the current workload and turnaround time?
I think we're a week away from issuing some permits that for stuff that we had during the holidays, and then the ones that we just sent out on Friday, you know, we're probably a week or two from issuing those.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Just to piggyback on what you said about redoing something in your house. If we've already submitted our package and decided that we wanted to make a couple changes, how does that process work?
You'll need to redo your substantial improvement worksheet to account for those changes. Yeah.
And can we hire some more inspectors to go out to the houses?
Carrie and Steve are doing a great job. They complete the workload every day. Whatever we have on a daily basis, they complete. So we definitely don't have an inspector issue as far as I know.
But you're the only one that's reviewing it.
I farmed that out to a whole team. We've got a bunch of people on, I'm the only one reviewing appeals. You don't want anyone else reviewing appeals. You want me reviewing appeals, I promise you that.
That's a very slow process with all that you have to do.
But you don't want to farm that out.
But can't you bring someone in to?
Well, that's why we now have a team doing a plan review. That's why we have inspectors standing out there. I'm relieving those parts of my workload so that I can focus on the things that really, really matter to folks, which are these appeals. Real quick, I'm gonna take a quick straw because we're starting to lose folks in that, and that's fine. But I want to take a quick straw poll on a couple of things that we've been talking about in our town. So forgive me for changing gears here for a second. There's been some buzz that it would be helpful for the building department to be open for some extended hours. We currently our window is open and we answer phones from 8:30 to 4 Monday through Friday. So we have a couple of options for how to extend some hours. One would be to change hours to 8 to 6. The other would be maybe like a half day on a Saturday, maybe not every Saturday. So just kind of want to get some thoughts from our residents. Show of hands, who thinks 8 to 6 would be a better option? And then who thinks occasional Saturday or an occasional Saturday half day? Okay, that was 8 to 6. Okay, awesome. Yes, sir.
If we do a demo like our bench top, is that going to the same permit as a demo for the?
No, no, we'll put that on a separate permit because your docks, your pools, your seawalls, they're not part of your substantial damage or substantial improvement. Let's put that on a separate permit and keep that out of the calculation for your damage. Yes, ma'am?
Are you is this department responsible for new contractors getting licenses to be able to do work in this area? Is that your department?
No, well, Pinellas County registers and provides licenses for new contractors. We take that information and get them registered with us.
My question is, my neighbor who has a contracting business in Virginia, he's going to start a business here. He applied in October, and what are we, January, and they still haven't approved it.
Yeah, that's a specific question that I just don't have.
But is that lead, okay, here's the general question. What's the general lead time if you apply for a contracting license?
Typically, I mean, we get contractors that come in and sit down with our staff on a daily basis and get registered. Yes, ma'am.
I just want to know, I called on Monday to try to get a one-on-one with you, left a message, I didn't get a call back until Thursday. How is the best way to get an appointment with you one-on-one to talk specifics?
We have been behind on emails, we've been behind on phones, so let me tell you what we did this week. The town clerk, she's amazing. We sat down, she and I, she said, what can we do to help? And we hashed out a couple of things. Number one, we had one phone line coming into the building department. We now have 3 phone lines coming into the building department. If you call, your call rings at 3 different desks now before you go to voicemail. Because our folks are on the phone all day, every day. We have, if you've been here, you already know, there is a line to the door every day from 8 to 4. 8:15. We open at 8:30. People are standing on the steps waiting for us almost daily. Our folks are just, they're working their fingers to the nub trying to get to you. We now, if you leave a voicemail, we now get an email with your voicemail attached. So we have a team, so we have about 3 people in the front who are dealing directly with the public, and then we always have 2 people in the back that are just doing permit paperwork stuff, trying to keep things organized and moving, and everybody has access to the email, so the folks that are sitting in the back that aren't dealing direct with the public are checking email and listening to your voicemails and trying to get answers. That just started this week. On Friday, as of Friday, we had cleared, Friday at 4, we had cleared the voicemail to only 7 remaining voicemails that hadn't been attended to. Now, it's probably already up to 20. We couldn't expand the voice box, the mailbox, so it's only 20. We had it down to 7. She was really trying to get it cleared out. We just ran out of time. So we'll pick it up again on Monday, and we're just going to keep working through it. It's just a process. If anybody has been here, you know how busy we are. We got 6 people working on stuff just in this office, not to mention the folks that are remote that are working on stuff, and it's a lot. It's a lot. Yes, sir.
I want to commend your office. We came in Thursday to finalize our after-the-fact demo permit. It got completed that day. I was asked when I needed inspection. I said, how soon? They said tomorrow, which was yesterday. They were out. We passed. Thank you.
Fantastic. Have you gotten your letter yet?
Substantial.
Your substantial damage assessment letter.
0%. His says substantial.
Oh, you're the 0. Yeah, you're the 0. Fantastic.
But it did say.
But we can get you your rebuild permit and get you going. Yes, ma'am.
So I've had a demo permit in since October. It's not been approved. It should have been, I guess.
What kind of demo?
Just drywall, safe, secure, blah, blah, blah.
So we
You didn't issue
we have
permits
a
or anything.
handful, and again, specific,
Right.
which I can't really
Trying to
address
follow up on
specifics.
that.
But I will tell you that we have a handful, less than 10, that there was some process, we had some temporary contractors, well, all of our people are contractors, but we had a couple of people in that really kind of did things out of order in the system and didn't like it. And it was early on. And we've gone to the company that provides the software for a solution because we can't move them through. It's just a weird, we don't understand it. We don't understand it. But we're not, there are about 10, maybe less than 10 that we're having trouble with. We're working. I don't know if yours is in that stack, but we don't have a substantial number of interior demolition permits that haven't been issued. Any that haven't, most likely that's the problem. So we're trying to work with them to get a resolution. Yes, ma'am.
If we are acting as our own general contractor, do we have to hire all licensed subcontractors? Do they all have to be licensed?
A GC, if you're acting as, so let me clarify. If you're acting as owner builder,
right?
No, you can do all the work yourself. It's still subject to Florida code, and we will hold you accountable for doing things per the Florida code.
Okay, but if we hire subcontractors.
But that means if you do owner builder, that means you cannot rent or sell your home for a year. If you hire someone to do some work, we ask that you add them to your contractor list on your permit so that we can hold them responsible for the work down the road.
Do they have to all be licensed?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Okay, so they still have to all be licensed in the state of Florida?
Absolutely. Yes, yes, ma'am.
When we were talking about the steps of the appeal process, you said one of the things was that they were going to come out and reassess your home to make sure nothing was missed.
Right.
And that changed the assessment of the
It could. Haven't seen one yet. I've seen some that came close. Let me give you an example. We had a home that was assessed substantially damaged, and they said that it was slab on grade. And we went into the appeal and we found that it was a wood frame structure on a crawl space. And there was substantial rot in the floor system. Okay? So this is exactly what you're asking. If you didn't hear it in the back, she asked, what happens if you find something on the appeal part that messes up the appeal, basically. And we found a substructure that had some damage to it. Fortunately, the repair fell, their property appraisal was like one of those 60%ers that really shot their structure value up. And then their contractor, even with those repairs, was under the tidal basin number. So they're still not substantially damaged. But it could change it. But the point is safe, secure, sanitary, right? And so if we find substantial, we've seen a number of homes where you pulled out the drywall and studs are just termite ridden. I shouldn't say that. Wood-borne organisms appear to have eaten away at the studs. And so you got to go back and fix that stuff for the safety of your home. And that adds to the cost to repair. But it's necessary. And if it's to a level that puts you over the 50%, then your home is still not safe, and we are going to have to do something. Yes, ma'am.
Get the damage, the interior demolition stuff, all that stuff completed, and then you come and inspect it, and then we apply for the permit to do the other things, or is that permit good for the entire
No, you'll need a
job?
second permit.
And
So it's a 2-permit process: interior demolition, again, minimum habitable standard, safe, secure, sanitary, and then a permit to rebuild, renovation, remodel permit.
Okay, and then you can't apply for that until you pass the first one, I'm
No, you can
guessing?
apply for that.
Oh, you
Immediately,
can apply
you
for
can
that.
apply for both at the same time.
And then
Please do.
that second one takes longer, I'm guessing.
A little bit, because we have to go through a few more checks.
Okay. And if you just use the contractor for that part, the GC, then you still have to wait for that period for the 1 year to
If you
rent
use a
it?
GC to pull the permit, you don't have to wait.
Even if I do the
Only-
owner permit for the first part?
Correct.
So I can do the owner permit for the first part and then the
Correct.
GC for the second?
Correct.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
So I want to say thank you for having the meeting first
Go
and
get it.
foremost.
But perception is reality. So my perception the previous week was that I stood in line for 45 minutes, I came to pay the permits, and they rang the amount wrong. So then I get an email back saying that I still owe $3. So I just want you all to be aware that, yes, your hours are working hours. I'm a working mom. I have 3 kids, so no, I'm not living in a camper in my driveway yet. But, I appreciate that you've added more people, it sounds like. I appreciate you've added more phone lines. But it's still our reality that we're not in our home.
Right.
That there's still a process. I want to knock down and rebuild. I get all that, but I think that inaccuracies of information is where a lot of the emotion comes from.
Sure, that's why we're doing the town hall, trying to eliminate inaccuracies in information. We're all still human. People say the wrong thing, they do the wrong thing, they don't have enough coffee in the morning, they get
Right,
stuck
and
in
when you send
traffic.
an email and you say, I paid the wrong amount, I didn't type the amount in.
I
I didn't get my
understand.
credit card.
Yep. Again, we're all human and mistake. Anybody's capable of making a mistake. So I'm sorry that happened, but we do our best to be as accurate as we can. Yes, ma'am. Oh, hi.
First of all, you guys have been. I've been so impressed with everything that you're doing here. I know it's overwhelming. My question was, is there a certain level for the seawall that you know of, or can you build up on your seawall?
That's a P&Z question. I don't.
P&Z, so.
Dave Dixon is our planner. I can get you his email address.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Your demo permit, your demo, if you did it yourself, homeowners permit, does that prevent you from selling your house for a year?
We've answered that question 3 times, and the answer's still no.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Nancy, you had a question.
Yeah, I actually have 2. One is thank you for what you're doing. You were saying that to make your home safe, secure, sanitary, bath, shower, a shower, a toilet, a sink. I don't have any walls put.
I know.
So I can't do anything until work.
Little vanity cabinet, little cabinet looks like this. You can put a sink in there.
Yeah.
Slide it up against the wall. Amazon's got a nice little sink for like $100 that you can roll around. It's kind of cool. Listen, I'm not going to bark at you for tiling a shower.
Okay.
I'm not going to bark at you. You put your Durarock up, you seal the pan, you do it right. You do it right. We'll inspect it to verify because it's a 3-sided structure and we can see 2 sides. I'm okay if you do that. Yeah, nobody's going to get upset about that. Great question.
Yeah, same thing with like the water heater, like
Do your water heater, yeah.
elevated, but you need drywall with the bracing.
Yeah, and once you put your water heater up, you're not going to be able to drywall around behind it anyway.
Yeah.
And it may be the same thing with your AC closet. We're not going to get upset about those things. But it's minimal habitable standard.
Okay, and then the other question was,
No worries. And you know how to get a hold of me. Yes, ma'am.
This goes back to what I was talking about earlier. Advocacy. Who in the township does advocacy? A lot of the
In terms of,
a lot of the businesses that aren't working are all being here.
we're all advocates for
I
everybody.
know, I'm understanding. You're doing the right thing that you have. I know that you're unhappy with tidal basin.
Yeah.
Who do we talk to?
Tidal basin.
That advocate, well, they're not gonna respond. So who do we go to for advocacy? Is the mayor gonna do that? Is, who in the township is advocating for us?
Our battery has died on the mic, the mic's not working.
I'm just asking about who's doing advocacy.
I heard
and
the
policy.
Yes. So who's doing advocacy? So first of all, the Florida Department of Emergency Management contracted to bring tidal basin in. Okay? So if we're having issues with tidal basin, we are to address those issues with the Florida Department of Emergency Management. That's FDEM, F-D-E-M. FDEM reports to the governor. So if we are having problems with tidal basin, they are not being addressed by FDEM, we go directly to the governor. I can tell you that our staff has had face-to-face meetings with FDEM directly, with tidal basin directly. They have voiced the issues that we are experiencing. I myself have sent letters to our congresswomen, men, senators, the governor, and I have personally spoken to the White House 3 times. We are doing advocacy. What we are dealing with is a bureaucracy, and we are impacted by that bureaucracy. That is the reality of it.
Yes.
I just want some clarity on one thing I think you said earlier. If a contractor has an estimate lower than the property appraiser's number that they assigned for you, can that move forward, or you still need to go through the appeal process?
You have to get your substantial damage letter.
Yes, We have it. yes.
That is the appeal process. The contractor estimate is the appeal process.
That's all
If
you
you are
need.
substantially damaged,
Right.
you will not get a permit until your appeal is complete.
That's what
The
I thought.
contractor estimate is one part of the appeal process.
Okay, that's what I
Yes.
thought.
In the appeal process, are you getting any pushback from, we have private appraisal come out, just like you said, many times substantially higher than what Twitty's office came out with.
Right.
Are you getting any pushback? Is that accepted?
I'm
it's
the
a
one that
person
makes the determination, and no one questions my judgment.
Great.
Yes, sir.
What are my options if I cannot sell my home before the end of April 2025?
We've answered that question for you already, sir. If you can't sell your home, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you.
No,
I can't predict market factors, and I don't know. We're talking about hypotheticals that I don't know.
This is
I mean,
to be the appeal process. Can I appeal after April 9th?
Can you appeal what?
I changed my mind. Now I'm going to repair the house.
Okay.
But I'm past at April 9th deadline.
So let me just advise you on that. The longer you wait to do the interior demolition, and the longer. The longer you wait to do your interior demolition and make your home safe, secure, and sanitary, the more expensive it's going to be to do that. Understand that?
No.
You're going to grow mold, you're going to get critters, wood is going to rot and deteriorate, you're going to create structural damage. Eventually, code compliance is going to come and say this home now needs to be condemned for neglect. So you can sit and write it out as long as you want. My strong recommendation is at least get it gutted and cleaned so that you stop the damage while you're trying to sell it. But you can do whatever you want, it's your home. Yes. Second question.
Same question, my family owns another home that we cleared all the junk out. We haven't done the permit for the demo. What else, if we're gonna try to sell it? Can we just stop it through the demo permit and try and get the home sold?
Yes. Yeah, you can, and let's get your demo permit closed out by making sure that it's safe, secure, sanitary for the purpose of selling it. Yeah, absolutely. Yes, sir.
Do you or anybody else have any updated information on what's going on with the city applying to FEMA for grants to elevate?
Applying to
FEMA for grants, to elevate your
We
house?
have some grant information in packets over here.
But
I
has the
don't
city
personally deal with
applied-
grant stuff.
Has the city applied yet? Because we can't apply before decisions are made.
So our town administrator was going to address these questions that came up. So I'll do the best that I can to answer your question. The town did apply for FMA grants. We filed our letter of intent. So that has been done. I have not been informed that the letter of intent was approved, but I think the reason why that is because the governor was working with FEMA to create a new program, which is what is being called Elevate Florida. The premise with Elevate Florida is that residents can go directly to FEMA without having the municipality, town, city, county as the middleman or liaison or supporter. So that, I would focus on Elevate Florida. You can Google it to get additional information. But based on our last commission meeting Wednesday night, we gave direction to the staff to continue to advocate and apply for other grants that are available. So it is our intent to participate in the grant process, but understand in order for us to do that, we have to have staffing and or outside consultants to help us manage it. Because when we deal with federal grants, it's extremely laborious and there's a lot of red tape that we have to follow. For the meantime, please look at what we have available for the grants here. Also, Pinellas County website is a great resource for property information, grant information. I do know that our staff is going to have a meeting next week with Pinellas County Economic Development, so we'll see what evolves from that. So yes, to answer the question, we are working on grants.
My wife already contacted Elevate Florida, and she couldn't be here today, so I don't know what the issue was, but she said she ran into problems that basically made the whole thing worthless, that she wasn't able to get anywhere with it.
I'm really sorry to hear that. What that tells me is we need a liaison to help our residents navigate through. And maybe Pinellas County has a liaison and I'm just not aware of it, but that's something we can look into.
All right, thank you.
The substantial damage needed is not based on how much damage is on the building, like 50% inside out. It's based on the cost. And if you go with the cost that for a building before hurricane, the cost that insurance companies agree to pay, and the cost that actually the contractor after hurricane, they want you to pay them is totally three different numbers.
Agreed.
If you go with the cost of the insurance companies agree, all the houses I think can be repaired.
Or what? All the houses
The
are.
cost that insurance company takes for house to fix your damages is very low,
Okay.
very low.
Of course, because that's what they're gonna pay out.
Exactly. So this limit, structural damage limit is based on the cost that's valuable. It's not based on actually what is the
Right, we've
damage of the
established that.
house.
I totally 100% agree. Yes, ma'am.
In regards to the appeals, if your replacement comes in, is he going to be just as diligent about appeals? Do we hope
I sure
that
hope
he's
so.
gonna- I
I'll
mean, you
be
seem
more
very,
diligent than I
right, you
am
seem
because-
very reasonable and diligent about it. I think the concern is if somebody replaces you, where do the appeals end up? You know?
Hopefully they'll work at it and be as passionate about it as I am. I can't, again, if I had a crystal ball or the ability to predict the future, I probably wouldn't be standing here. I'd definitely be sitting on a boat out in the Keys somewhere fishing. Yes, sir.
So can you clarify the difference between my insurance company says your damages are this and this is what you get? As I understand, that has absolutely nothing to do with get your substantially damaged letter, appeal it, come in with your contractor costs. You see those numbers, you approve or deny based on that. Has absolutely nothing to do with what the insurance
I do
company.
not care about your insurance company one bit.
All right,
Their
so-
job is to pay you as little as they possibly can and maximize the premiums you pay. I do not care about your, with respect, with complete.
No, I understand. I just want to make
I
sure
do not care
that-
about your insurance company.
Just because
I care
they said-
about making sure your home is safe, secure, sanitary for you, your family, and the people who live there after you, and the people who live there after that.
Right, so I can get as much money as I can out of the insurance company, separate ball, the game over there versus what I
Okay.
do with you.
Two more questions. We're almost at 10:30. We allotted about an hour. Well, we allotted 2 hours. We have to clean up time. So I'm going to take 2 more questions. Yes, sir. In the back.
I apologize if you've covered this already, but is there a time limit to complete once you've received your build back permit?
So your permit will expire in 180 days. You'll either need to complete within 6 months or file for an extension, which will give you maybe another 90 days. before permit expiration.
Thank you.
Okay? One more question. Yes, ma'am.
Do you have like an outline to help people prepare a cost estimate? if you're-
Yes. Yes, we do. We actually have one. It's on our website. Again, Nancy sitting next to you. She did the most amazing work very early on in the process. We sat together because she's very thorough, very detail oriented. She provided an excellent template, which you'll find on our website. Just it's beautiful. It's a beautiful template, and if you follow that, she separated each item, material, labor to install, where you can provide again material costs, how much it costs to install, item by item, down to the carpet fibers. I mean, it was an amazing template. It's on our website. Yes, ma'am. Okay, that's the last question, folks. Listen, our building department is open 8 to 4:30, Monday through Friday. We're responding to questions. We're constantly on the phone. We're taking face-to-face meetings at the window. I sit with people as much as I reasonably can. Again, I told you early, I restricted that late this week so that I could focus on getting letters out. But I'll pick that up again next week so that I can deal with you on your individual concerns and issues. We're not here to make you tear down your house. That's not what we're doing. I don't want you to have to do that. I will do everything I can to prevent you from doing that. If we finally end up in a situation where we don't have a choice but to tear down and elevate, I'm going to make that as painless as possible for you. So far, I've not run into that, and we've seen some stuff that would just blow your mind at how bad the structure behind the walls is. We found ways to get that corrected so that people don't have to knock down their